Is very boring. To be more precise, I find being with him boring. He wants to talk soccer or Star Wars, both of which I'm not interested in despite knowing a lot about them. I did like the new Avengers movie because Mark Ruffalo and especially Robert Downey Jr. are hot as hell, or hot as shit, or hot as blank. I'm allowed to write their names in poems because they're celebrities, and also this is not a poem. Just say often, just say like, just say the way, the light, ... say landscape, or say nothing. For the record, I too am a bad mother. Actually, I am an amazing mother, but all I want to do is work. The other two sons are not boring. To be more precise, I find being with them enormously stressful. I sometimes often find the way, the light, the landscape, all I want to do is work. Perverse, as in a deliberate, obstinate desire to behave in a way that is unacceptable. T-minus minutes to soccer. Roll 2 sheets of paper together, black and any other color, tape the seam for a makeshift lightsaber. The most interesting thing about me is blank. The last blank has been left blank not because I'm afraid of hurting someone's feelings or that it will negatively affect my career, but because there is nothing interesting about me. If I were not practicing discretion, I might say the most interesting thing about me might be my compulsive confessing. Dear Anne Sexton, you were a bad mother. I am a better mother than you were. Bully, for me, that's not saying much. On the other hand, you are a better poet. So many are. This is not false modesty, just the truth. After my lecture on photography, Colin said I could not use the word truth without indexifying the term. I have no idea what Colin means, and I use his real name here as a way of calling him out and to protect myself from the shame of believing in truth. If I can't say truth, well, fuck it, I'll say Colin. Even if he is the boyfriend of a very dear friend. There I go again. Can you say the same thing without the name? Hello, my name is Rachel, and my pronouns are she, her, herself. I'm sick of my own my, I, and she pronouns. That is not modesty. That is what Colin would not call truth. What an editor might call the role of authenticity in your work. I say being a woman is blank to me all these babies later. Being straight and white, wah, wah, ... It is despicable to be so blank. I mean, really, it is blank to be so blank. After my lecture on the legacy of the confessional, my 15-year-old son said, "So your lecture is about how we feel sad about unhappy white women, which you are?" Everyone laughed. He is very funny and not hardly often boring. My sons are my best work, but all I want to do is work. Put it in the book, says blank, about a book we are and are not writing together, a sort of sequel to our book about birth. This one will be about sex and middle age, and we will say all the things we did not say before, which will be difficult after I make my vow. Me and my upcoming meeting. Will blank believe I've learned the error of my ways? Not if she comes to this reading. What I want is a socially acceptable, financially viable reason to be away from my children for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. All I want to do is work. I would like to take a moment to tell my white husband, would you please fuck me a little harder next time? Not just harder, but like blank. Yes, fuck me like blank. In this case, the blanks signify the sad truth that I have no idea what I want out of life or fucking other than something blank. As a joke, I almost wrote the sad Colin instead of the sad truth, but didn't because it was a bit too close to home. You see, I had a dream last night that I was trying to get my white husband to have sex with me, and every time he acquiesced, it turned out we were in public, although no one seemed very interested in watching. We kept stopping because he was not into having sex in public, and after many, many stalled starts, we ended up watching a movie with blank and blank and blank. Blank put his hand on my leg, and it occurred to me that this might be what I'd long ago experienced as a come-on. Although even in the dream, the phrase come on was so remote, I kept thinking it wasn't the right idiom. Meanwhile, blank had his hand on my leg, and I thought, at this point, there is no way I would say no to anyone. Which is not exactly the same as wanting to say yes to blank, but it looks a lot like it because, of course, blank is anyone. My friend who almost shouted at me who I am and am not writing a book with has blank sex. She has a lot of it and writes about it. I know this because she tells me all about it. Well, she tells me as much as she thinks I can handle, which is not very much. Also, I was just reading her new book, which was supposed to be about her dead baby, but has an awful lot of sex in it. I just read her poem about a student she had a crush on and how she wondered if her instructions in workshop were a kind of come-on, which reminded me of my dream and also my vow never to write a poem like that now, and not after my meeting, which is only a few hours away. Henceforth, I will only write about Mark Ruffalo and Robert Downey Jr., and I will not listen to my friend when she says, if I want my needs met, I need a new partner. So there we are, me and my blank friend, her blank poems and mine, although this is not a poem. Dear Mom, I wrote 2 lectures, one about photography and one about confessional poetry. They were not about those things. Both lectures were veiled ways of explaining to you why I insisted on publishing a book you didn't want me to publish. It is difficult to explain this to you because you are dead. Because you died and the last thing you said to your therapist was, tell Rachel not to publish the book. And I did anyway. I thought my father had lost his mind when he said, I am upset Diane died. This makes it much more difficult to speak with her. I called my stepmom to say she had to deal with Dad. I couldn't deal with anything, not myself, not my sons. I had become the woman who had killed her own mother. But he's right. It is more difficult to speak with her, and I keep trying. Dear Mom, I think I have to write the story of what happened, this time without a target, without research, without indexifying anything, even if I knew what that meant. I think I will never be able to write a real poem until I can explain myself to you, which I never can. Perhaps this is why I'm stupid enough to swear I'll never write another poem about anyone I know or use names, only my own, maybe not even my own, even if it means I show up to the reading with nothing new, nothing mine, nothing true. I almost wrote Love, Cancer, Wayne, Jason, Ariel, 40K, Yaddo, McDowell, Guggenheim, Daniel, Enraged, Ashamed, Exposed, Matthew Zapruder, Torture, Elitist, Crazy, Obnoxious, Privileged, Narcissistic, Libidinous, Lusty. But don't worry, I stopped myself just in time.